Bustin' mad like inside the dark, call me Bill Snatcher. Just the brother for the rapture. I hang live, holding on strong, hard to capture. Extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a garden and start killing. It's manifesting. The God's work like appliances, dealing in my sight like a lot.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, and today we're going to be looking at a topic that is long overdue on this channel, which is going over whether or not Kaguya is quote dead or quote sealed away. Even though it's been 8 years since the Naruto manga ended, this question still gets brought up in conversations, especially when considering the events of Boruto. For every person who says Kaguya is dead, you got another person saying she can be unsealed or she can be brought back to life to fight the Otsutsuki clan. So you clearly have two different opinions on this matter. However, which statement's actually correct? Is she dead, or is she just sitting in a Chibaku Tensei waiting for somebody to break her out? Well, in universe, the answer is that she's dead, and there are actually quite a few reasons as to why Kaguya has been referred to in universe as being dead, and why we have supplemental source material that consistently calls her a dead person. So, as we all remember, the final battle with Kaguya took place in Naruto Volume 71. She was an absolute monster, every bit as powerful as the Sage of Six Paths warned Naruto that she would be when he said that Kaguya's power exceeded his own, which at the time, this is Hagoromo, who has Six Paths Senjutsu. So this is Hagoromo, pretty damn strong, when he says that Kaguya surpasses his own power. After an insane level of teamwork from Team 7, Naruto and Sasuke managed to seal Kaguya away using the chakra that Hagoromo gave them. However, this is where the strongest bits of evidence come into play here, but in order to understand why this is the case, we have to look at what's actually occurring in this scenario. Naruto and Sasuke performed the Six Paths Chibaku Tensei, and they're able to do so using the chakra that Hagoromo stored into the Sun and Moon seals, which is going to be very important to keep in mind. Despite the similar appearance, the standard Chibaku Tensei and the Six Paths Chibaku Tensei are two different jutsu. The standard version that Pain used on Naruto and that Sasuke used on Momoshiki are monsters, whereas the version that Naruto and Sasuke used on Kaguya is a completely different monster in of its own right. If these two jutsu were cars, then the standard jutsu would be a Dodge Challenger Hellcat. It's supercharged and extremely powerful, just like the Chibaku Tensei is more powerful than the other basic Six Paths jutsu that the Six Paths of Pain use, whereas the Six Paths Chibaku Tensei would be a Dodge Challenger Super Stock or Dodge Challenger Demon, which is basically a Hellcat but packing way more power and better performance because it's taken the supercharged engine up to the production possible maximum. The jutsu that Naruto and Sasuke used on Kaguya is in a different league than the normal Chibaku Tensei because it combines the power of Yang and Yin Six Paths chakra seals to construct a gravitational core that is compressed with Six Paths levels of chakra that traps a person inside of it. As a bit of a reminder, when you compress chakra, you get things like Boruto's compression Rasengan. You see what Boruto's compression Rasengan can do, stopping stuff like Ishiki's chakra cubes. Now think about what happens when you compress Six Paths chakra. However, it doesn't just stop here. The jutsu on top of compressing Six Paths chakra also extracts the chakra the person sealed away inside of it. We know this based on Naruto Databook 4, but we also know this based on the manga itself, where we can actually see Kaguya's chakra being forcibly ripped from her body via the jutsu because the Rinne Sharingan is vanishing as the jutsu progresses further and further towards completion. This will explain why we have multiple light novels set in the era that fans like to call the blank period between Naruto chapter 699 and chapter 700 that state that Kaguya is seen as dead. It would explain why the Boruto movie Databook has Kaguya referred to as being dead, which before anyone asks, this is not a translation error. I can definitely say this is not the case because the kanji is for death. It's not for seal. Two different kanji, which you should be seeing on the screen right now. When we look at the Boruto movie novelization, which is also written by Ukyo Kodachi, the man who wrote the Boruto movie alongside Naruto series creator Masashi Kishimoto, we get the most direct statement about Kaguya's death from the narrator of the novel, and the statement directly addresses the question of Kaguya being immortal. In the Boruto movie novel, it directly says that, quote, Kaguya has died. In this world, there wasn't a such thing as immortality, end quote. That's going to be very important to keep in mind when we take things from the in-universe statements about Kaguya's death and the databook statements as well as this novel scene and start applying things further. Immortality doesn't only mean that the person can live forever. And this is because there are different forms of immortality. You have a version of immortality that we're all used to, which is physical immortality, where a person can't be killed. They can recover from attacks and circumstances that should kill a normal person. We have spiritual immortality via things like religion, where a person is reborn in the afterlife. We also have biological immortality, where an object's cells don't age, which means that they themselves continue to exist unless they are destroyed. However, immortality can also and has often been used in fiction to describe things that have regen abilities that prevent them from being killed from what should be lethal blows, and they themselves still regain their consciousness in the aftermath of this, which is, we know, something that applies to Jubi Madara and Kaguya, who both regenerated from such attacks. However, in the Naruto manga, Kaguya numerous times was referred to as being dead, which is why it was stated that she needed to be revived. Someone physically immortal doesn't need to be revived from death because it is physically impossible for them to die. Yet in the manga, in chapter 690, Zetsu specifically says, after Kaguya was sealed away, that he needed to work out his next plan to resurrect Kaguya. To resurrect someone, you need to bring them back to life, meaning Zetsu believed that Kaguya was dead or was dying in that moment. However, why would Zetsu even think Kaguya was dead? Or why would he even think that she was dying? After all, she's physically immortal, right? Well, we don't have a definitive answer to state that her regen abilities are linked to chakra, but that makes the most sense given everything we know about the lore, because we saw Madara regenerate from lethal wounds during the time that he was a 10 Tails Jinchuriki. The 6th Pass Chibaku Tensei, that is why Kaguya is dead. So that jutsu extracts the chakra of a target all the way down to absolute zero. Now, the reason why this is so important to keep in mind is you have to go back to Naruto Part 1 to understand this. Absolute zero in terms of chakra is death in the Naruto world. If you reach this point, there is no coming back. Absolute zero is not to be confused with Sasuke running out of chakra. All this means is that Sasuke has lost the ability to safely use chakra without putting his life at risk. Absolute zero in Naruto has been established as early as Part 1 Naruto to be a moment when a person will die. And we see this in the Pain arc where Kakashi uses up the last of his literal chakra and then Kakashi ends up dying. And this is because you have exhausted all of your physical energy and all of your spiritual energy. Both components make up your chakra. No access to chakra means that there's no regen while being crushed by a 6th Pass Chibaku Tensei that is the size of the moon, which is comprised of 6th Pass chakra, which is already an enormous amount of chakra. And on top of that, that chakra is being compressed down even further, which chakra of that magnitude being compressed is absolutely insane. Not even Kaguya is exempt from something like this. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been a need to have a living body be used as a medium to revive her, nor would Zetsu feel the need to plan a way to resurrect her after she was just sealed away. That's also why, again, the kanji in the databook and the kanji in all the novels, they all use the word death. It doesn't say unsealed. When Kaguya was sealed away, the chakra extraction not only affected her, but we also saw the extraction remove the 9 Biju sealed away inside of her, which is important because on top of Zetsu using Madara's living body as a host to resurrect her, the Biju chakra played a role as well. Kaguya is not coming back via resurrection from death in Boruto without some major mental gymnastics being applied and a potential retcon. First, the 6th Pass Chibaku Tensei is stored away in one of her dimensions. Sasuke doesn't have a Rinnegan that can be used to summon it from that dimension, nor does he have a Rinnegan to even access that dimension. Kaguya is also now dead, meaning you only have 8 of the Biju, and Zetsu at the time specifically went through the trouble of having all 9 Biju collected. Sure, you could have the gold and silver brothers brought back via Edo Tensei, but This is Naruto calling the shots. He's not going to allow two people to be used as sacrifices to revive them and then have them sealed away in order to revive Kaguya because duh, it's Naruto. That's out of character. However, this is where I'm going to leave this off to you. Now, I'm going to be covering a few more topics that I've seen people request, like with Zetsu Kaguya's Karma Seal, explaining the Otsutsuki clan's seeming immortality, and a few more topics. So if you want more explained videos like this, keep the notifications on. I know I've been doing theory videos for a while, but this channel started out as a Naruto lore channel, and we're going to get the balance back onto that. So leave your topic suggestions down below. But as always, guys, like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.